Charlie, you're just some random guy on the internet. And fair enough, because that's all you know me as if you're a new follower. And it's been a long time since I've done this. I just wanted to, for those of you who don't know, give you a little bit of background and explain what I'm trying to do, why, and how. Why does this channel exist? Very briefly, I have a weird mixed background and career, which happened to involve being a property developer, investor. I was a landlord. I bought them and did them up and sold them. So I've been through that ringer, but really early on, I mean, even in my 20s, I realized that that wasn't how I wanted to make my living, because I'm one of those weird people that needs to know that what I'm doing to make a living is also making a difference. And so that's why I started getting involved in the housing market. Originally, I thought that my experience as a buyer and a seller and a landlord and a tenant actually meant that I knew what I was doing in property market, and that estate agents weren't necessary, and ended up becoming a supplier to estate agents because I got that really badly wrong. And they are absolutely essential. No one is forced to use an estate agent against their will, but yet more than 95% of people moving house do choose to use estate agents. I also did 3 years in the city as a licensed derivatives broker. I got my Securities and Futures Authority exams. I was a registered representative authorized to give advice to institutions on investments in all of the global commodities, and it was fascinating. And I did that while my friends were at university. So I have this weird sort of, okay, back in the day, but still some qualifications from the city that gave me a really good understanding about the economy, how it works, how the markets work, how the money markets work. And that was a really fascinating thing. And I also studied business studies and politics at A-level, which again has ended up with quite a useful background for me. But for the last 25 years, I have been a supplier of technology and software services, first and foremost, but also photography, floor planning, and virtual tour services to estate agents, mostly in the UK, mostly in London, but also in Sydney, Australia for quite a few years through 2 different businesses. And I have been involved with the housing market through technology with estate agents as clients all over the country, and directly involved with all of the big property websites as well through the CRM systems that I was uploading to, and through my CRM systems have seen registered literally millions of buyers and tenants and watched their journey through the system, through these estate agency CRM systems. And it's given me a really unusual insight and perspective into how the housing market functions, how it operates. Now, I'm not the only one that's done that. I am the only one that's actually conceived, designed, built, and released not 1, not 2, but 3 estate agency software CRM or customer relationship management systems. And I've been personally involved with the product design and continue to be so with my current one, Best Agent, or Best Agent Back Office as it's called. And so, okay, that's my background. And through Best Agent, I have my own data set, and I call it a unique data set because no one else has got my data set of 100% of the UK's properties for sale and to let, coupled with a CRM system that shows what happens behind the scenes in estate agencies, coupled with the background I've got in the city, understanding the markets. And so my view on the market, the most important thing I want everyone to know is that I don't care what house prices are doing one way or the other. As far as my career is concerned, I don't care. Personally, does it affect me? Yes. But as I'm not here. I'm not trying to talk the market down. I'm reporting what I'm seeing from my unique perspective that most other people in the industry don't report, because a vast majority of the estate agency businesses in this country rely on the always up narrative, and things aren't that bad, to get people buying and to get people paying over the odds and to justify their overvaluing. Now, I happen to believe, and the numbers actually back it up, that transparency actually is a more profitable long-term strategy for the industry as a whole. And if they were more transparent, didn't overvalue so much, more people would actually move house. They'd get more commissions for more transactions. That's how it would work. I think it's what's going to happen. But so what am I trying to achieve? I am trying to achieve transparency in the housing market. How am I trying to achieve that? Because I'm doing it by highlighting what I see as the inconsistencies and flaws in the available data that's out there, by picking it to pieces, and just not to prove a point, other than just don't go by the headlines. Don't be just a headline reader. If you are just a headline reader, you will not know what's going on. If you don't have the time and effort and are prepared to make the effort to look behind the headlines and what's going on, you will never know what's going on, and you will be one of the people that's just knocked around like a pinball in a machine in your life. When it comes to your life important decisions, you've got to look beyond the headlines. And so what I'm trying to do is to give a unbiased view of housing market information, which is not only house prices, but also economic data, because economic data affects house prices more than almost anything else. So yes, I'm just an unqualified bloke down the pub. I happen to have a huge amount of relevant experience, and I happen to not have a vested interest in house prices going up or going down. My vested interest is in more people being able to move house when they want. I want to make moving easier, because making moving home easier, whether you're buying or renting, greases the wheels of social mobility and is good for society as a whole. I do not like the fact that transaction volumes are low at the moment. That is bad for everybody, literally everybody. Nobody benefits from low transaction volumes. And so I'm trying to help people move house despite market conditions by giving unbiased advice or unbiased perspective on the housing market for people to take into consideration themselves. What I don't do is give any local advice or insight to what's happening, because only you can do that. And you can only do that by talking to local agents, getting out there and viewing. I do want to undermine the over-optimistic narrative that comes out of the industry. And listen, it's not because people do this because a lot of people in that industry make money on transactions. And so bad news does not help transactions. That is true. But nevertheless, a lot of people have to move house, whatever the market's doing. And I just think that actually it's the most honest and transparent people who will do the best in this difficult market. In fact, I know that that's the case. The honest, transparent people are doing most of the deals and making most of the money. And the dishonest ones who rely on a dishonest narrative of rising prices when they're not are just going to lose and fail. And that's a good thing. And my end game is to bring total transparency to housing prices, to close the gap between the land registry reporting of completed house prices so long after the fact, so long, so many months after the deal was agreed, by using Best Agent, which is a national property website, which is still very much in beta. It's live, it's out there, it's working, but it's very much in beta, to help people find their home, help people choose a better agent, and help people have a more informed source of more informed data to base their home moving decisions on. That's my goal. I might be wrong. I'm currently expecting house prices to, when they can finish their falling, which will be sometime in 2025, to have fallen on average around 35%. I could be wrong. And I don't care if I'm wrong. It's just what my expectations are. Don't read anything into it. Just assume that I am wrong, but consider it. That's all I ask, is that you consider, what if he's right? What will that mean for us if he is right? I get people saying to me every day, "Oh, Charlie, nothing's as bad as you said it was going to be. Are you going to recalculate?" I haven't calculated anything. This is my views are based on a very broad view of the economy, of the housing market, of sentiment, of the gap between what's reported and what's happening in real life. And I could spend all my days crunching data, and it's not going to make any expectations more accurate. I don't see the value in crunching numbers over and above the obvious ones that are available to crunch, that like, which, for example, the skyrocketing debt, both government and private, and corporate, that nobody wants to talk about, and the undeniable mathematical effect that's going to have as interest rates on those debts rise in killing companies, killing zombie companies, causing people to lose their jobs. People who are now paying off their mortgages with credit cards. There is data to back that up. You can see it at a glance on the Bank of England website. No one wants to hear it. La 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 la. So I do look at data. What I don't do is get down into the weeds, and that's what Alex Gramwater does very, very well. He enjoys doing that. I don't enjoy doing that. What I do, and what I have developed a feel for, is a big overview of data, heuristics or people's behavior, and politics and how that affects things. And I sort of blend them all together with a bit of the seat of the pants. And, guys, it's okay if I'm wrong. You can be wrong. Guess what? Nothing happens. It doesn't hurt if you're wrong. Um, if my expectations really do change, I will say so. But they haven't changed. They haven't changed. We are going through a period of so many unprecedented, I hate that word, never before seen phenomena in our country, in the economy, in the global economy, in all kinds of ways. Um, so, which is why, you can't always look at the past and go, well, the past equals the future. It never ever does. There are things that have changed here, and there's technology, and there's the effect of, for example, the effect of AI on jobs. What's that going to do to the economy? That's very, very hard to look at. But I'll wrap this up because I'm rambling. I am here to try to help anyone who's moving, buying or selling. I'm not here for investors. I know I have a lot of investors who watch this channel, and you're all welcome to watch it, but you are not, if you're in the lucky enough position to have funds to invest, you're already better off than most of the people that I want to help. Okay. I want to help people who need a home, who want a home, and who want a more stable and a reliable home for their future and for their family, because over and above everything else, the best thing for this country's future is that the kids today have a more stable future. Okay, which they don't. It's terrible. So there you are. That's all I want. I want people to be able to move house more easily. I want people to stop being ripped off by lying corporations. I want to stop the industry, everything's better than it really is, guff. And I want to shine a light of transparency on the housing market. And I will have succeeded if I can use Best Agent and its data to arm people both nationally and regionally and locally with recent data that arms them well enough to be able to disregard bullshitting agents who come into their house and say, I can sell your house, I can get you more than they can. Because the overvaluing problem is what's led in a large part to the nightmare that we're in now. And it's a nightmare for everybody. I'll wrap up with this. I don't want a house price crash, because house price crashes are very, very painful and irreversibly destroy lots of lives. They lead to an increased instance of suicide. I have no interest in a house price crash. And by the way, they never actually crash like stocks do. They slide over a few years. Okay, I do not want, I'm not expecting house price crash. I'm expecting house prices to slide over a few years based on my background and knowledge of politics, economics, the markets, and most of all, the property market and how it operates. I could be wrong. I have no more or less credibility than anybody else. Please do not base your moving decisions on what I say. Just if you think they're worth it, then bear them in mind in your overall decision-making process. What would I do if I could wave a magic wand? I would make house prices just stabilize, come down very, very slightly, improving affordability, because improved affordability is better for everyone, including the country as a whole. That's what I think. That's what I want. That's what I'm working towards. And I'm in the very fortunate position where, by not having any investors or business partners, I can say what I like. And I will, good or bad, I will live and die by what I say. And I'm happy to take responsibility for things that I do say. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't really matter, does it? Just don't take it too seriously. But if it's interesting, consider what I'm saying. But ultimately, we are all responsible for our own decision-making in our lives. I just hope that this channel helps bring a little bit more perspective you won't get anywhere else to your big decision-making process. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.